Hello Scorpio, welcome to this reading. We're going to be taking a look at the current energy for the sign of Scorpio for the week of August 1st. Now do keep in mind, this is a general reading, so take the messages as they resonate, drop the ones that do not, and also check out your sun, moon, and rising signs. Let's see what we have here for you, Scorpio. Now I am using the Tarot Muka, as well as the Angel Answers Oracle deck. There are links to all of these decks in the description below if you'd like to pick them up for yourself. I do hope you're having a great start to this Leo season. Hope things are going well for you, Scorpio. All right, let me make sure we're all set up and in view here. Okay, go ahead and put this up here, and then I'll also take 3 of these Oracle cards to clarify as we go along. All right. Scorpio, really like what I see here for you. The energies have been great for August, not only for this week, but also the monthly readings as well. And your energy here looks very good as well. So it seems like some of you are making moves here in terms of your career or your business life in some way. And the moves that you're making here are related to your independence and I think your financial independence, but I also think that some of you are maybe kind of doing a balancing act on, if you're single, particularly if you're single, I think some of you are doing a balance act between, okay, I want my independence, but I also might want to entertain the idea of being in a relationship. If you're married or you're in a relationship, you may be trying to kind of strike a balance between spending time with your significant other and also maintaining independence. This could be something that's going on for you here, Scorpio. Like, maybe you have major business goals, right? Maybe you have major financial goals, but you also are trying to balance out your time with another person or something like that. These are kind of themes that I think are playing out here for you. It's interesting that the end caps on this reading are the first 2 cards in the Cups suit here, with the Ace of Cups and the 2 of Cups, and in the middle it's more businessy finance. So I think that these are sort of things that you, Scorpio, are sort of working through at this time. But let's expand on this some more. So in the overall situation, you do have the Emperor, and the Emperor is seen as a good omen of success in business. The Emperor is somebody who is not only successful, but also a leader in their life and typically in their career field. They could also be somebody who just kind of acts with authority. They kind of have a quiet strength about them as well. And there's some, or what is that term? I feel like the term quiet leader might be relevant. I feel like you can lead and not need to say much. People just kind of listen type of deal. That could certainly be the case showing up here with this Emperor. And this is somebody who really kind of on another level this is a card that I consider to be an Empire card. This is somebody who's really looking to build something big in their life. So really a good sign. It may ask you to open up a little bit, because on the detriments side of the Emperor, it's like maybe you're being a little bit too rigid. Maybe you're holding on to your routines, and now your routines are becoming a burden. Routines are really supposed to help you, but maybe you're holding on to them and being a little bit rigid with them. That could also certainly be the case here. And that might be why these 2 Cups cards are on the ends here, where maybe it's just a reminder to maybe allow a little bit, to ease a little bit in your life. So in the past, you have the Ace of Cups and the Knight of Swords. The Ace of Cups really represents a new start in happiness or love in your life. It's this overflowing cup, which is really a nice energy in the tarot. This can bring about really nice joy in your life. And so this can obviously say that recently you've maybe started a relationship with someone. Could have been with an air sign, or this could have happened quickly, because the Knight of Swords is something that kind of happens so quickly that it's almost chaotic, or you don't even really have time to sort of catch your breath when the Knight of Swords card happens. And so it's possible that you've just randomly met somebody, or you've entered into a relationship in the past here, and it maybe has happened very quickly between the 2 of you with this Knight of Swords. The other thing is, I think on the other timeline, if you're just not here at all for love, which I know some of you are not, The Knight of Swords is like this idea of like striking while the iron is hot and really going for something, taking advantage of opportunities. And the Ace of Cups would be a new beginning. And so there is an opportunity here in the past showing up. And it looks like maybe some of you have really taken advantage of this. Now, in the future, you have the Nine of Pentacles and you also have the Two of Cups here. So this is the balance that you're trying to strike between independence and relationship situations here. Nine of Pentacles is really a card of general independence. You know, it's typically around financial independence, but in relationship situations, it is about just generally needing your own space, needing to have, like, maybe if you're like married, for example, you each have like your separate offices, or you know, you dedicate like you have like a certain portion of the day where you don't see each other, or whatever the case may be. Like, you may just need to have like your own spaces in your house or whatever it is. That type of thing can show up with the Nine of Pentacles in relationships, which is, you know, it really works for some people. And just on a different level, the Nine of Pentacles can talk about just you really setting yourself up for financial fitness in your life through earning, through investing, through doing those sorts of things. Really good card. Being able to provide for yourself. And the key part here is not needing anybody else, but just being able to subside on your own. And you have this paired here with the Two of Cups, which, as I said before in other readings, if this is not your first time here, Two of Cups for me is my favorite romance card in the tarot. It's two souls linking up. It can be a very deep connection between you and another person. It's really the energy of partnership, though. Two of Cups is about partnership. And so it could be about business alliances, business partnership, or even entering into a partnership with yourself, especially as the influence of the Nine of Pentacles is here. So let's go ahead and see what we have here. Let's move up the pyramid. So you have the Eight of Wands, not surprised to see that. The Eight of Swords. You have the King of Cups. And you also have the Hierophant. Okay, so this is interesting. So 888 is a really nice angel number. So you have two, or just numerology. So if you take the number 8 and you flip it on its side, you get the infinity symbol. And so that represents power, it represents abundance, and it has the symbolism of power and abundance. So it's always nice to get two 8s, especially next to each other. But you know, you have this Eight of Wands that was like, you can even see in the expression on this person's face on the card here that something has happened so quickly that they have not even really had an opportunity to kind of catch their breath. Like, they are surprised. And the thing about the Eight of Wands is that this is typically a good surprise. This is something that happens quickly, that kind of moves in and delivers good news to you. This can be the energy of accelerated motion, things moving ahead, things moving along, you know, things moving ahead. Yeah, and you have that with the Knight of Swords here, which both of these cards represent quick energy, like very quick. And so it's almost like there's been something here in the past around a new beginning, whether it's in love or a different area of your life, maybe just generally some sort of happiness or some sort of situation that's making you happy happened very quickly for you. It's interesting because you have the Eight of Swords with it, and the Eight of Swords, you know, that's something where, you know, you're kind of trapped in your mind. You know, you might be creating logical traps, or you might feel restricted in your thinking in some ways, or it can say that, you know, there's a solution on a different level. The Eight of Swords can say that there's like a solution available, but for whatever reason you can't see the solution, but it's like the solution's right in front of you. And so, you know, if I'm looking at this in a more positive way, it's possible that's, you know, the solution came quickly. You figured out the solution quickly after maybe having struggled to find it for some time. We then here in the kind of future half of this reading, you have the King of Cups and the Hierophant. King of Cups asks you to really take care of yourself, and most importantly, remain calm in times of upheaval, or specifically like emotional upheaval. If there's something that's testing you, albeit be it a person or an event or a situation, somebody who's just like kind of prodding at you. It asks you to really kind of do what you can to remain calm in that situation. And you know, this is always, I feel like, a good lesson. The thing is, the King of Cups can also be considered a good partner in the tarot, somebody who can hear you and listen to you, and you feel like in the presence of the King of Cups, you're being heard, you're truly being heard. They're holding space for you. This can be any gender. I don't attach gender to my cards, but there is something here about partnership that looks very healthy. There's also this Hierophant, which is about anything that's traditional in life. So this can be a card of marriage. The Hierophant can be a card of marriage. It can also be a card of your organization that you're a part of as well. So like if you work for a big business, or you're maybe you attend a school, or you're a part of like a university or something like that. It can be an organization that you're a part of. Let's go ahead and take a look at these 3 oracle cards. Okay, so you have within the next few weeks, success, and not the right time. So I really like this success card, especially. There's definitely success here with the Emperor, the 8 of Wands, the Knight of Swords, 9 of Pentacles. And, I feel like maybe some of you are looking to have an important conversation with, particularly if you're in a relationship, you may have an important conversation, and I do think that goes very well. You may just be kind of patiently waiting for the right moment, and you might be striking while the iron is hot, if you will, in having that sort of conversation. I also think that this could apply in a business context as well, where it's like you have this urge to do something or to branch out in a new direction, but you want to make sure conditions are favorable, or that you're feeling right, or you're like kind of aligning towards it in the right time. So definitely like to see that. Let's go ahead and continue moving up the pyramid here. But if you're enjoying this video so far, please do hit that like button and subscribe. It really helps my channel grow in a big way, as less than 50% of the people who watch my content are actually subscribed. All right, so let's see what we have here. You have the 7 of Wands, you have the Empress, and you also have the Queen of Swords. So you're really focused on something at this time, and it may mean that you kind of find a solution to something that's been occupying a lot of energy or mental space or head space in this moment. And then as soon as you find a solution, you dedicate yourself to something with your newfound information or your newfound solution. The reason I say that is you have this Queen of Swords here, big energy. Queen of Swords is somebody who has an extreme focus on their goals. You have the Empress as well. The Empress is really a major card of abundance in the tarot, and also it's like the mother archetype. You do have mother-father energy. The Emperor is the father archetype. The Empress is the mother archetype. I also want to point something out. You have 3, 4, 5 with the Hierophant. We could say then that the Hierophant's like a grandfather type of energy. So you do have maybe something here with family showing up, as well as a king and a queen. There are like counterparts here showing up in this reading. I do think that some of you, I don't know, it's like I feel like new love happened a while ago for some of you, and I feel like you're kind of more progressed in a relationship. I feel like some of you are single, are just like, unless this person is, wife or husband material, or whatever, I'm not interested. I feel like some of you are just kind of doing your business work, like your work, career, business, you're looking to make goals in those areas, and I feel like you're focusing on those areas. And basically, if you're not in a relationship, you have like a very specific criteria, and if this person doesn't meet that, then just not worth the time, and I feel like that's okay. So let's go ahead and let's see what else we have here. So you have the 9 of Swords, and you also have the Fool. So yeah, definitely like something locking you up here in the past. The good news is this is in the past, but with the 8 of Swords, 9 of Swords, that's like a locked up energy. Like you're like you're mentally locking up on, or feeling like you're trapped or restricted, or even the 9 of Swords in particular can be around fear, anxiety, like a deep fear, or even like this idea of like having nightmares about something. And like I feel like saying separate, like kind of taking a step back and separating yourself from the problem might be very helpful at this time. Because yeah, if you haven't worked through this yet, like if you haven't received the solution yet, you may want to take a step back. I do think the solution's coming in, and I do think you'll dedicate yourself to something in a big way here, because you have the Fool, Queen of Swords, again, being focus. Yeah, and I do think that that's coming in for many of you here. At the top of the pyramid, you do have the Knight of Cups. Definitely like what I'm seeing here for pre-existing relationships. I definitely do. Knight of Cups is like an event relating to happiness, an event relating to love happening in your life. I definitely like that for you. You could really be kind of taking a relationship to the next level. I also think if you're single, it's maybe like as you focus on what you want to be doing, that person comes in. That's probably the approach that's going to happen, and it's probably going to happen at the right time instead of trying to force it. Yeah, on the bottom here, you do have the Queen of Cups. So you have the King and the Queen of Cups, definitely counterpart showing up here. So I really like this. If you enjoyed this, hit that like button, subscribe. Really appreciate you, and I will see you in the next reading.